Alright, Section 4, AB Freight Brake Equipment. In 1926, Association of American Railroads, in cooperative with the Interstate Commerce Commission, integrated a series of tests of varies of the type of the air brake equipment for the freight train brakes. The rack tests were followed by the road test, resulted with the adoption of approved freight brake, that which has been given the designation AB. Additional equipment now is available and includes AB-1B, brake equipment for high-speed freight passengers, and AB-412, AB-412 brake equipment for heavy freight cars. 3. AB automatic empty and loaded brake equipment, usually generally on high-capacity gondola and hopper cars operating primarily in coal and one service where they are operate emptily and fully loaded. The performance maintenance of the AB412 and the AB equipment empty load brakes are periodically the same as the A brakes with a minor variation. Therefore, AB and AB1B brakes will be covered in the following paragraphs. 811 description: AB freight brake equipment. AB freight brake was developed with a keep pace for the major improvements of all the good operating feature for the standard brake that has been retained, other than valuables when added. The air brake has been adopted by the Association of American Railroad and the standard freight brake. The following are some of the approved freights of an A brake that were not included in the K brake freight equipment. Improved quick service. The three-stage quick service provides a prompt service positive brake application on all cars with long modern trains. 2. Improved release. In case of excessive slide valve friction, they may delay release or cause a stuck brake, struck brake, or releasing insuring valve. Automatically releases the brake and reduces auxiliary reserve pressure. Rapid recharge. The rapid increase of brake pipe pressure is obtained with the release of the starter by using emergency reservoir, which remains fully charged during the service application. Improved emergency. Under an emergency during service application is eliminated separation with the parts control with the service emergency portion. Emergency brake cylinder pressure. Emergency brake cylinder pressure approximately 20% higher than obtained from the full service brake application. Speed emergency. Speed emergency for the roof train is approximately 40% faster than the former standard freight brake equipment. Development of emergency pressure. Development of emergency brake cylinder pressure is steps in a controlled rate that prevents damaging shocks, but emergency pressure is available at all times. B. The AB1B freight brake. The AB1B freight is the same as the standard AB for brake equipment, with the additional filling piece for the selector valve portion that is applied with the pipe bracket and the emergency portion AB control valve. The service and emergency portions of the standard with all respect to AB control valve, but the studs holding the filling piece emergency portion of the pipe bracket are longer than the standard. Alright, 812, AB and AB1B brake system components. Components both AB and AB1B brake systems are the same unless otherwise noted. The AB control valve used for the A brakes, the AB valve figure 8-9 consists of the following components: a brake pipe bracket, which is permanently mounted on the car and carries the pipe connection so that no pipes need to disconnect to remove the valve portion. It also contains a removable hair strainer to keep foreign matter out of the valve portion. The service portion, which controls the change of the reserve of the service application for the release position brakes. Emergency portion, which controls the quick action feature, the high brake cylinder pressure, and the accelerated emergency release function. B. The AB1B control valve used in the AB1B brakes. The AB1B control valve is the same as the standard AB control valve, except with the addition of filing the selector valve portion and the long emergency portion bolting studs. The filling piece is bolted on between a pipe bracket and the emergency portion. A safety valve is provided with the selector valve portion limits the brake cylinder pressure with the service brake cylinders buttons closed of the brake cylinder emergency. Proper setting with the safety valve is 60 pounds. 3. The connection. The connection is made with a single line with the filling of the piece that automatically adjusts the selector valve with the other, either passenger or freight service. When operated with the passenger service, the single pressure automatically adjusts the selector valve to provide a direct build up of the emergency brake cylinder pressure. When operated with the freight service, the absence of single line pressure automatically adjusts the selector valve to provide a standard 3-stage development of emergency brake cylinder pressure. 5. In service brake operation with equipment of same as the AB equipment, A2A quick service valve, when equipped with the A2A quick service valve, figure 810 ensures the properly pipe brake reduction positive brake application. D. The brake cylinder figure 811. The brake cylinders are equipped with the piston rod and connected through the brake lever to brake rods, brake shoes. When the piston is forced outward with the air pressure force with the transmitted through the rod levers, applying the brake shoes to the wheels Release spring force of the piston into release position. Air pressure exhausted through the opposite end of the cylinder packing cup with the pressure presses up against the cylinder walls and prevents escape from the air past the piston. Periodic cleaning, oiling, and testing of the brake cylinder is performed without removing the cylinder from the car. Combined auxiliary emergency reserve. The auxiliary and emergency reserves are combined into one unit, which is divided into two compartments. One serves as storage auxiliary air pressure, and the other for emergency air pressure letter casting and the lug projection with the separation plate identifying the reservoirs. The letter AUX on one side is stands for the lug indicating auxiliary reserve, and the letters emergency AMRG on the other side for indicate emergency reserve. Alright, the top one you have your auxiliary reserve, emergency reserve portions, which were part of the AB brakes, brake pipe, and retainer brake cylinder. The AB valve showing the operation portion of the pipe bracket section cut away, showing the strainer. This shows the strainer on the AB brake. 810 exterior view of the A2A quick valve. I thought it was A11 valve, but it says A2A quick valve. Automatic air operated slack adjuster. When equipped, the automatic slack adjuster 8.3 if it's a device maintaining the uniform running position standard travel. 2. The piston travel whenever the which for the adjusting is set automatically shortened, but the small cylinder have the piston or the pawl which engages the term of the ratchet and nut. Adjusting the cylinder takes the brake cylinder through a small pipe. There is the tap into the brake cylinder at a distance from the pressure head approximately equal to the desired position travel. When piston travel allows the piston packing up the cups at the port with the adjusted pipe. The connecting of the brake cylinder pressure is emitted with the adjusting cylinder, which moves the piston. Full stroke cylinder compressing the spring will move the pawl with the two teeth of the ratchet nut. For whenever the air brakes are released and the brake cylinder piston moves back past the port, the air in the air adjuster cylinder exhausts the non-pressure end of the brake cylinder. This permits the piston spring of the adjusting cylinder force back the adjuster pin by means of the pawl of 1/8 minute and 1/8 of a turn of the ratchet nut. Combined dirt collector and cutout cock. Combined dirt collector and cutout cock figure 813 connected with the brake pipe leading to the pipe bracket that prevents the pipe and scale sand, cinder, other foreign materials entering the AB valve. The umbrella shaped check valve retains the dirt chamber. The collected dirt accumulated during air operation. Remove the dirt chamber cleaning. Remove the two nuts securing the chamber of the collector body. Alright, once again we have the auxiliary reserve, emergency reserve, brake pipe, retainer, brake cylinder pressure, and your AB valve shown with the operation port and pipe brake section cutaway show strainer. Alright, branch pipe T. The branch pipe T figure 814 connects the branch pipe to the brake pipe. It prevents excessive moisture that may be deposited with the brake pipe passing the brake pipe thence to the AB valve. Alright, retaining. The retaining valve is a 3-position manually operated press retaining exhaust valve. The valve is usually fastened at the end of the car near the brake shaft. The handle position plainly identified as follows. Figure 815. EX stands for direct exhaust handling point direction. HP stands for high pressure retaining handle at 45 to 60 degrees clockwise from the direct exhaust position. The SD slow direction exhaust handle 135 to 1500 to 1500 clockwise of the exhaust direct exhaust position. The retaining valve is calibrated to regulate air pressure as follows, which the handle with the direct exhaust of the brake cylinder pressure exhaust freely to the atmosphere. With the handle in the high pressure retaining recharge the exhaust of the air of the brake cylinder down with the predetermined pressure that retains the amount with approximately 16 to 22 psi. With the handle in the slow direct exhaust of the brake cylinder pressure exhaust slowly to the atmosphere, the calibration retaining valve and such permits the blowdown of 435 cubic inches reserve volume and the initial charge of 80 psi pressure for each of the 3 position pistons in time specified below. Alright, your direct exhaust has a pressure blowdown 70 to 10 psi in less than 3 seconds. High retaining pressure retaining 60 to 40 psi in 33 to 43 seconds. Slow direct exhaust 60 to 40 psi 17 to 22 seconds. Alright, A1 shows the assembly of the ABA brake cylinder lever bracket with lever brackets. Lever 1 is the lever bracket, 2 is the fitting anchor, 3 is the fitting clamping nut, 4 is the lever bracket bolt, and 5 is the fitting cap screw, 6 is the fitting gasket, 7 is the straight fitting bodies, 8 is the piston packing cut, 9 is the pressure head gasket. 10 is the pressure head bolt nut. 11, the lever brake pressure head, lever bracket pressure head. 12, the piston and hollow rod. 13 is the release springs. 14 is the body, cylinder body. 15 is the non-pressure head bolt nut, and 16 is the non-pressure head gasket. 17, strainer. 18, strainer retaining ring. 19, where's 19? I don't see 19. Anyways, 19 would be your hollow rod collar. 20, your special lock washer. 21, your rod collar set screw. 22, the hollow rod packing screw. 23, spring seat, and 24, non-pressure head. Alright, note, prior to 1967, some of the cars were equipped with the two-position retaining valve with a control brake cylinder with the handle with the down position. The brake cylinder exhausts freely the atmosphere with the handle in the up position, retards exhaust for the air with the brake cylinder down to the predetermined pressure, retains the amount. J, the angle cocks. Angle cocks with a hose with connection coupling with the connected end for the brake that provide with a flexible connection between the brake pipes and adjoining cars. A3, cleaning and testing the AB brakes for repair tracks. Requirements: the complete brake equipment must be cleaned with the oil tested and stenciled, COTNS, as follows. After expiration of 48 months, it indicated with a standard marking on the cars with may be given them the cleaned oil and tested and stenciled attention expression of 45 months for the cars on the repair track, regardless of whether it is not to need other repairs. 2. When the air brakes are inoperative due to the failure to pass the single car test device code of the test, unless the inoperative condition is due to renewal pipes and fittings indicate the flange compression type double duplex release valve part with the valve protector, brake reserve, combined dirt collector, cutout cock, branch pipe T, retaining valve and parts of these items. 3. When stenciled markings are required of missing, incorrect, and indistinct cleaning. Sugar required external clearance reduced and cleaning time to the minimum with the following tools. Equipment are required to brake cleaning personnel performing the respective functions: an open-ended S wrench with 3/4 inch with a 3/16 inch opening for the dirt collector, branch pipe T, and the cutout cock. Combinations of a socket wrench with an AB valve with the portions of the flange fitting of the brake cylinder. Non-pressure. The set contains one ratchet type handle with 2 extensions, 1 universal joint, 5 sockets in sizes 9/16 inch, 5/8 inch, 3/4 inch, 3 and 1.6 of an inch, 1 inch, and 3/16 of an inch is required only with the AB empty load charge changer over valve. Strainer nut wrench in the brake pipe. Strainer nuts that we use handle and extension listed in B above. Alright, 812 shows your combined auxiliary and emergency reserve. You have your single support lug, your mounting bracket, your nut 3 lock nut and bolt, your emergency reserve on the left side, and auxiliary reserve on the right. Connecting bolt, separation plate, connection nut 2 connection nuts, flange union, emergency reserve portion, airline, auxiliary reserve, airline, double supporting lug, not shown, auxiliary reserve. Alright, D, the blowdown nozzle with a suitable 1/4 inch pipe nozzle, nipple nozzle for the blower hose. Shipping cover the vent protector plug is per brake manufacturer standard for the protecting AB valve portions in transit. Have suitable coverage containers and protect the AB brake cylinder, piston, hollow rod, non-pressure head assembly for the dirt damage that should be provided with the transportation assembly to and from the car. G, a grease can be arranged so that both of the grease and brush can be protected against dirt. Record the car number and owner and the last cleaning date. Add all old cleaning marks must be scraped off and painted over with quick dry black paint. Reclose the branch pipe cock when drying the air out of the auxiliary reserve, emergency reserve, brake cylinder. Remove the cup of the dirt collector and leave it off until clean with the valve portions applied. Disconnect, release the valve lever, leaving it attached to the release rod. Blow any of the dirt water out of the yard airline and supply hose connections to the car. If the brake testers are made by the men with a clean brake, clean the brake. Couple the single car tester with the yard airline with the car brake pipe at the B end of the car. Otherwise, couple the yard air supplied directly to the car brake pipe. Change the brake pipe, leave the yard air supplied connected with it, blow out the brake pipe, open the angle cock at the end of the car, and then apply the dummy coupling blower house end to the A of the car, leaving both the angle cocks open. Open the branch pipe cock to blow out the dirt from the branch pipe to close it. 5. Scrape and wipe, blow off all the dirt adjacent with the gaskets between the pipe bracket and the valve portions using the blower house, and blow off the loose dirt and AB valve portion, pipe bracket, hoppers, slopes, and underframes, etc. They may otherwise get into the AB valve portion, pipe bracket, where the portions being removed and clean portions applied. The operating portion of the AB control valve parts therefore must be dismantled, but they have any parts removed and replaced with the car. The cleaning and lubrication of the valve portion must be accomplished air brake mechanics in well-lighted location. Alright, figure 813 shows a combined dirt collector and cutout cock. There are dirt collector cutout cock. Branch pipe T A brake. You see a T like A brake. Section view of the standard retaining valve. Shows a brass choke AHK and port G cap nuts removing the valves and springs, kind of like your retaining valve. Remove the AB surface portion, disconnect the brake cylinder, release rod, remove the 3 piston, push and mounting slide, and slide the valve portion off the studs. Remove the brake pipe strainer, place it in the shipping cover, immediately apply with the cover of the surface portion, tighten the holding nuts, then shipping the cover must be applied to prevent entrance of the dirt and the water damage internal parts of the trains, burning the valve air brake shop with the recommended rate for reconditioning. Remove the AB valve emergency portion. Remove the vent protector with the plug op, opening the vent protector plug. Remove the 3 nuts for the mounting of the stud. Slide the valve portion to the stud. Move the piston and release the position. Immediately apply the shipping cover. The tightening the hold nuts of the cover must be applied to prevent the entrance of the dirt and water damage to the internal part of the transporting the valve portion of the air brake shop. Recondition paragraph 815. Remove the retaining valve. Unscrew the exhaust pipe at the elbow. Uncouple the inlet air line at the union. Remove the nuts and bolts for the secure valve car and remove the valve strainer. 3. Place the strainer and spare shipping cover. Then apply with the shipping cover. Then tighten the folding bolts. Transport the valve to the air brake shop. Recondition paragraph 815. All right. F, cleaning dirt collector. Remove the nuts and bolts. Secure the dirt chamber of the collector body. Remove the chamber from the collector body. Separate the gaskets. Check the valve from the collector. Thoroughly clean in chamber to check the valve of all dirt, other foreign material. Do not replace the chamber. Check the valve after the pipe bracket. Associated parts have been cleaned. G below. When replacing check valve chamber, you use a new gasket between the chamber of the body. G. Clean pipe bracket and associated associated parts. Using a scraper suitable form and loosening the dirt brake pipe passage, strainer chamber, and the other connection passage for the pipe bracket. Use the blower house for the suitable nose of the blow any loose dirt scale of the piping bracket. Associate the parts. Blow down the face of the bracket. Strain chamber, brake pipe passage toward the open dirt. And H. Installation of reconditioned surface portion. Apply the new throwaway type, then clean the felt and the hair type strainer to a cavity in the pipe bracket. Use a wood mandrel to guide the strainer into proper position, making sure the inner engagement of the sealing bead is inserted properly at all nut threads will be visible. Apply holding nut tightly and firmly with the surface portion of the gasket placed on the pipe bracket fully seated in the locking projection. Remove the shipping cover from the clean surface portion. The piston in the release position. Immediately point the piston sliding it slowly, carefully through the studs against the pipe bracket. Coat the stud threads with the graphite grease and tighten the holding nuts evenly firmly. Connect the brake cylinder release rod to the release valve handle. Installing recommended emergency portion. While the emergency portion gasket is placed on the pipe bracket, the fully seated with the locking projection, removing the shipping cover, the cleaning of the emergency portion, examine the emergency portion piston to ensure that the release position and damage to the piston and bushing will result, and if the piston out of the bush and portion mounted to the pipe bracket. 2. Mount the portion of sliding slowly, carefully stud against the pipe bracket. Coat the stud and threads for the graphite grease. Tighten the holding nuts evenly and firmly. Remove the vent protector plug and apply with the slightly secure. Tighten the serviceable vent cover, vent protector to the clean emergency portion. Install recondition retaining valve and install the retaining valve reversal removal to make the sure the valve is securely fastened to the car in the vertical position with the handle moved freely with the paragraph 824. K. Cleaning lubricating frame mounted brake cylinders. Disconnect the brake lever, remove the brake cylinder push rod. To avoid personal injury, examine the hollow rod's collar on end of the piston to determine if it will hold securely. 3. Remove the pressure head of the bolt and then remove the piston, release the spring and the non-pressure head complete. 4. Apply the shimmy cap of the non-pressure head that will protect the piston from the packing of the cup, lubricating swab assembly, other parts against the damage, contact, the dirt, and transport assembly to the air brake shop for the brake conditioning. 8 to 18. If the non-pressure head gasket is suitable condition, provided with the tight seal replacement is not required, the damaged removable gasket, clean its seat, and clean the brake cylinder, apply the new gasket. 6. Thoroughly clean the brake cylinder with the first useful dual rounding scraper. The removal of all the grease and dirt. Use the solvent necessary to soften the gum. The deposit. Remove the nuts, rust spots while the wipe dry and clean with the lint cloth. No, after the cylinder is cleaned, it should be covered to protect the dust and the dirt unless the piston non-pressure head assembly has been immediately installed. Lubrication must be applied with the cylinder just before the clean lubricated pistons is applied. 7. Using a suitable brush, coat the cylinder wall thoroughly with a thin layer of over the brake cylinder lubricant. Place the non-pressure head gasket in the correct position. Recess the cylinder flange. Remove the shipping cover of the piston assembly. Coat the cylinder bearing surface of the packing and over the packing cup. Fill and grease with the cup. Remove and then swab retainer with the brake cylinder lubricant. Insert the piston assembly in the brake cylinder as follows. Hey, stand the piston assembly on the end of the non-pressure end down. When the piston is in position, enter it into the cylinder. Slowly rate the non-pressure head until the upper portion of the packing of the cup engage the cylinder wall. Shove the piston back into the cylinder. Apply the non-pressure head bolts and tighten them evenly, and then secure. Apply the push rod connecting in the brake lever while the brake lever pin secured with a cotter pin. Cleaning lubricated truck-mounted brake cylinders. 1. Remove the cotter pin and anchor pin from the piston rod. Release the rod from the yoke. Remove the cap screw to secure the airline adapters and cylinders. Separate the adapters from the cylinder. Remove the gaskets. Remove lock nuts and bolts and there secure the brake cylinder truck bolster. Remove the cylinder assembly. Transport the assembly to the air brake shop. Recommended reconditioning paragraph 818. 4. Use the new gaskets to install the brake cylinder and the reverse removal. M. Inspecting the brake rigging. Check all the brake levers rods to ensure that they are conform to the standard dimensions shown on the metal badge plate attached to the car. Wrong brake levers and brake rods shall be replaced with the standard car except when brake levers on the car are of the same ratio dimensions for the badge plate. To inspect the bottom of the rod, brake beams safely support, repair the new or the necessary brake beams, brake hangers, and hanger pins. Brackets shall be must check with the accordance with the condemning limits for the shown below. With renewed the repair as necessary. A. Brake beam hangers round with the other section respectively original diameter of the thickness. If the vertical thickness for the top of the bottom portion is worn, reduced 3/4 inch or less, when measured vertically or thrown through the corners measured on the radius. The brake beam hammers, pin bolts, and original 1-inch diameter is worn to 7/8 inch or less. The brake beam hanger pins and bolts, brake connections are originally excess of 1 inch of the diameter if worn to 1 inch or less at any point. Brake beams showed renewed tension rods are cut or worn 5/16 inch or more below original diameter when the brake heads are worn so that the vertical thickness of the top portion of the top eye of worn 7/8 inch or less center of the upper hanger eye opens worn is so that the opening measured vertically at the hanger beam is 1 1/2 inch or more. The distance between the upper and the lower brake shoe lugs exceeding 2 1/4 inches measured of the face head with one or more than 2 broken or worn off such an extent that the portion will be contact the back of the brake shoe when the brakes are applied. Breaker and hanger bracket can cast integral truck side and bolster have pinhole with a worn oblong to depth of 1/2 in its original diameter. Worn oblong not more than 40% should be restored original diameter of bushing the fusion welding process. If the hanger bracket is not cast integral with the truck side of the bolster, it should be repaired and renewed for the pinhole worn in the extent specified above. Note, where the limits are prescribed above, the primarily intended to apply the inspection made with the car's top, the repair track, as such parts cannot be measured to gauge any degree of the accuracy without assembly determination condemning the limits of these parts, and the train yards must there be left to the exercise good judgment of the train yard inspector. Inspect brake shoes broken or missing keys, worn with the damaged shoes. Brake shoes shall be renewed with any of the following defects. Aero standard type with 1/2 inch or less wear, metal composition type 3/8 inch or less in thickness, including lining and back plating. Broken or missing part, worn, broken through or siding of the reinforced back. N. Cleaning, testing, adjusting air-operated automatic slack adjuster. Remove the cap screw, secure the airline adapter to the adjusting cylinder. Separate the cylinder. Remove the gasket. Further, figure 832. Remove the 3 of the casting nuts lock washer. Secure the engine portion of the adjuster body. Turn the engine portion off. The adjuster screw. Transport the air brake shop with the reconditioning. 3. Remove the crosshead adjusting screw with the adjuster body with cleaning the screw through the threads thoroughly with the wire brush. Do not lubricate, adjust the screw nuts and should be turned freely on the screw. If the thread on the screw are not excessively warm, replace the serviceable parts blown out the slack adjuster in the line and ensure the brake cylinder is open. Assembly, adjust the screws and crosshead, recondition an emergency engine portion of the reverse and removal. Use the new gasket between the engine portion and adjuster body with the airline adapter. Adjust the adjuster cylinder. 5. Adjust the brake cylinder piston travel as follows. Apply the brakes to fully surface application. When the brake is applied, measure the reducing recording piston travel. Check all the levers or rods, proper clearance. Inspect the brake cylinder slack adjuster connections for leakage. Release the brake shoe if the slack adjuster is operated with the adjuster. Operated with the strap clear. Of the wheel, 3/8 inch non-adjustment is necessary. If shoes exceed 3/8 inch, then adjust brake when rigging manually. If the slack adjuster operates the piston travel excessive with adjusting brake rigging manually on swivel trucks where the brakes on the more than one truck that operated by the same cylinder, adjusting the standard piston travel to 7.5 inches. Where the cylinder operates the brakes on one truck on the other, one unit's equipped with a truck-mounted brake cylinder. Adjust the piston travel for the type of the brake cylinder. Inspect the air brake hoses carefully. Inspect the air brake hose to renew if they found defective because of the following wear limits. Burst hose or leakage discernible without soap sud test. Alright, abrasion throughout outer coupling of the indicates the damage to the deterioration first layer of the duct. 8/16 longitudinal spiral cracks show damage deterioration first layer of the duct. 8/17 soft spots where the clearly indicated the fabric of the broken down figure. 8/18 loose defective fittings on either end of both ends of the housing. End of the hose, end of the tube, 3/8 inch more through the shoulder, either nipple or coupling. Alright, 8/16 shows a hose with a hole in the outer cover fabric in good condition. 8/17 shows a hose with bad longitudinal crack in it, outer casing, and 8/18 shows a hose with a soft bend. 8. Porous hose determine the soap suds. 9. Splice hose. 10. Missing hose. Over 8 years old, determining on the date of the hose. Date of liberated time cleaning, oil testing, stenciling, periodic attention indicated the testing and stencil of the air brakes. Perform code of the test after all the work is completed. Blow out a supply line with the testing device to be attached and perform code of the test in accordance with TM55 2006. Apply stencil. Scrape off the old stencil paint over the quick dry paint. Apply stencil showing the month, day, and the year of the railroad private line reporting marks, and an initial shop station figure 8/19. And if location of the letter is not present with a clear view of the outside of the car, the stencil should be placed on the side still near the release of the valve handle. Do not stencil both reservoir and inside of one. Only one stencil is permitted. On tanks where location reservoirs are in such with the stencil would be operated with a due slippage, and the stenciling may be located reverse or emergency with the center sill with the boiler close to B end of the boiler as possible. On hopper cars with the construction of the car will permit stencils may be located on the sub side near the release rod. Application duplicating markings is prohibited. Note: stencil markings must not be changed until all work has been completed. Alright, cleaning and testing AB1 brakes on repair tracks. Cleaning and oil testing stenciling of the AB1B brakes is the same as the AB brakes in paragraph 813 with the following additional instructions. Remove the filling piece of the selector valve. Remove the emergency portion figure 813D. Disconnect the air pipe and the fillings. Paragraph 813D. Disconnect the air pipe and the filling piece. Slide the filling piece with the selector valve off the mounting studs. Immediately apply the shipping cover to the selector valve. Tighten the holding nuts. Shipping cover must be applied to prevent entrance of dirt and water damage to the internal parts for the transporting the valve, the air brake shop, and the reconditioning in paragraph 816. Alright, 819 shows the stenciling. Your reports and marks where the air data is reserved, the date specified, and stencil to clear. We just ran that. Remove the A22 quick service valve, clean exterior valve through the all dirt and other foreign matter. Remove the dust and nuts and the mounting studs. Carefully slide the valve in the mounting stud and apply with the shipping cover to transport the valve of the air brake shop with the reconditioned paragraph 817. Install the reconditioned filling piece with the selector valve, filling the piece with the gasket in place with the pipe bracket fully seated with the location locking projection. Remove the ship cover and side filling piece with the, on the mounting stud. Make sure that it's snugly against the pipe bracket. Install the emergency portion of specified in paragraph 813. Install the reconditioned A2A or quick service valve with the valve gasket position placed on the pipe of the pipe bracket that fully seated with the lock position. Remove the shipping cover of the slide valve and the mounting stud. Coat the threads and stud with graphite grease. Tighten the holding nuts evenly and firmly. And then 815, shop maintenance AB control valve.